And welcome back to the channel. My name's Steph, and in this video we're going to be checking out the difference between two keyboards, the EWEADN GS75 and the AULA F75 that I've got on my desk here. And yes, to be transparent, EWEADN has sponsored this video, and yes, they told us to be objective and talk about the differences. So let's dive in. So between the two, taking a look at first glance, you can tell that there is a difference in shape, with the GS75 being a lot more rounded in the corners with a color themed rim. My GS75 here is a baby blue themed colorway, which I don't think is their best design, as the font is quite hard to see on the keys, especially in lower lighting levels, though there are 5 different colors to choose from, and depending on eyesight, your mileage with this blue and white variant may vary. Anyway, the colorway compared to my F75 here, I know which one I am choosing, and that's purely down to being able to see the keys on the F75, but I must say the GS75 does look more modern because of it. The housing on the F75 is in fact a lot chunkier than the GS75. It didn't really affect typing performance or really gaming performance between the two, which is nice, but I did feel like I was able to keep my wrists a lot flatter on the desk typing on the F75, though both do come with rear feet to angle the boards for a more comfortable typing experience. Both keyboards do use cherry profile double shot keycaps, no surprise there really, because every mechanical keyboard seems to use them now, but in both cases they look good and feel very nice to the touch. Both the 75% layout, so you retain your F keys, some function keys down the right, and both have a rotary knob in the top right for media functions, mainly volume and mute control, that kind of thing, but in either case both are very similar, though incremental movement on the GS75 is a lot firmer and you can physically feel the clicks very nicely. So moving inside both keyboards, this is probably where you're going to see the biggest difference, because audio profiles between the two are pretty different. Just take a listen to this. The GS75 produces more of a creamy sound compared to the F75, which I was told sounded a little bit happier with added thock. The spacebar though on the GS75 is much nicer to listen to. This could come down to the extra noise dampening layers that EWEADN are shouting about, and the GS75 has 6 layers in total, being Pour-On Cotton, an IPXC underpad, a PET sound dampening pad, EPDM rubber, and mold silicone pads, whereas the F75 has similar layers except for the EPDM rubber. Now, is this the big thing that AULA is missing out on? Probably not, and both keyboards do sound decent, though I must say I definitely prefer the sound of the GS75 here, and both, just to let you know, are gasket mounted and lubed and have full end key rollover and all of that good kind of stuff. And in terms of switches, of course, these are going to be different. The GS75 here uses EWEADN's own cream pink switches, and the F75 use Leobog Reapers, though in both cases different switches are available, and the switches are even hot swappable for both 3 and 5 pin on both keyboards. The drivers for both keyboards are absolutely identical, which is making me think that the same software company developed and licensed the driver to both manufacturers of the keyboards, or both keyboards are made in exactly the same place, but I'm unsure if this is really the case. I'm just guessing here, but yeah, you can't really notice a difference between both bits of software. There is nothing fancy though, and once installed you're greeted with a pretty plain and simple driver that gives you the ability to save out different profiles, assign macros, design macros, and change your RGB effects to either a solid color matching up to music or rainbow-like wave patterns. I've gone with a solid color here, if you can see on the camera, on both keyboards. And finally, both keyboards feature tri-connectivity, being a wired connection or Bluetooth or 2.4 GHz dongles, though the GS75 now does have a 5000 mAh battery and the F75 has a 4000 mAh battery, which is slightly lower, and both work well when it comes to performance inside of games. So there you go, a comprehensive comparison between two budget mechanical gaming keyboards, of which I must say I do think in terms of sound profile the GS75 edged out in front. Though comfort for typing, the AULA F75, I think, with its slightly skinnier body does take the win. But still, they're both very nice to use, and the blue and white version of the GS75 is priced at $69.99, though models do start at $49.99. The F75, on the other hand, is priced on their website at $69.99, so no real difference in cost there, unless you want the plainer version of the GS75 with the more entry-level switches. Either way, some very nice keyboards overall. And thank you very much again to EWEADN for sponsoring this video. Their links to their stores will be in the description down below, so make sure to check them out. And thank you very much for watching this video.